My dearest Kelsie, when I walked into your dad's veterinarian clinic just over 2 years ago and saw you sitting behind the desk, I knew you were special. As we began to talk, it was clear that you took my breath away. I stuttered my speech and couldn't complete a full sentence. From that moment, we quickly grew to have a constant desire to be with each other. I fell in love with you quickly. Your kind and gentle heart was so apparent from the beginning. As I look back on the places we have been and the time that we have spent getting to know each other, I can't help but to smile on all that God has done to shape us into becoming one. You're the only girl I have ever told I love you to. I knew from that moment I was going to marry you. The word love has always been something that I didn't take lightly. It's not only a word to me, it is a commitment that I will always work to love you and promise to love you. I hope that we will be blessed with many decades of love, a love like our grandparents. I firmly and faithfully believe that God shaped our lives to intersect at the exact time He intended it, far before we were ever born. I love that we are fortunate enough to have a photo of us in our first year of showing goats. I was 7 and you were 5. It is apparent from that moment, when we look at that photo and photos now, that we were shaped to become one. I am so blessed to call you mine and walk side by side with you for the rest of my life.
Stephen, here we are on the day we've dreamed of our entire lives, the day that God has been preparing us for, molding our hearts for, and shaping our futures for. Today, we will leave a huge part of our lives behind us in exchange for a marvelous adventure with one another. It's a scary and exciting new beginning that marks the start of our best years in our lives. Stephen, words cannot express the love I have for you. The Lord has blessed us beyond measure and continues to shower us with His love. He has brought us together to create the most beautiful marriage. I thank Him daily for giving me the most patient, generous, loving, and God-fearing man. My love, I promise to be the best wife I can be. I vow to love you with all of my heart for as long as I live. I pray that God would grant me patience, humility, and a servant's heart. I pray that He would mold me into a wife that reflects His love for us. Above all, I pray that we would keep Christ the center of our relationship, and by doing so, we will continue to create a never-ending love for one another. Stephen, my darling, I love you and will love you for the rest of my days.
Stephen and Kelsie, God has truly blessed you by bringing you together. You're such a wonderful couple. Stephen, it's been great to get to know you. You have an inner peace, a strength, a joy, a confidence, a gentleness about you. The strength of Christ shines through you. I can see how you were able to win the heart of this amazing young lady. And Kelsie, you're loving, you're beautiful. You're a Christ-like woman who sings like an angel. You've been a blessing to so many, and I treasure our friendship. You're generous, kind, joyful, always smiling and always encouraging. And just as you both are so wonderful separately, I know you'll be even better together. These adjectives I just used are adjectives we use to describe Jesus Christ. He's been with you every step of your journey. And my hope and prayer is that as you draw closer to each other, you'll draw closer to Him as well. The wisest man who ever lived was Solomon. He's the one who wrote the words that were read just a moment ago. He described the value of relationships in very vivid ways. He says that together we work better. We help each other through hard times better. We stay warm on a cold night better. Alone we are vulnerable, but together we are unstoppable. I now pronounce you man and wife. What God has joined together, let no one separate. You may now update your Facebook status. Stephen, I can think of no better time than this for you to kiss your bride. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to introduce to you Mr. and Mrs. Stephen and Kelsie Reeker. welcome Seymour's newest power couple, Stephen and Kelsie Rico!
We just simply ask for a blessing upon their marriage. That, Father, your hand would be on them, and wherever you call them to go, whatever you ask them to do or send them to do, that, Lord, they would be like Isaiah, and they would say, "Here am I, send me." And that, God, you would use them as a couple to make an incredible difference for you and for your kingdom.